Hey YouTube, thanks for tuning in to Hunt Ready today. I'm going to go over a little bit about what I took to Colorado this past September. Did a over-the-counter archery elk hunt, and we packed for 7 days, and this is what I took with me. First off, go over the clothes I wore. Socks, just some light smart wool socks. I had extra pair in the pack. Top of that, some First Flight merino base. I like the First Flight merino. It's really comfortable, and it's held up really well. It's probably about, I don't know, I've probably had this base layers for 3 years. Same with the top, another First Flight top. It's the quarter zip. Not sure the model, but it's kind of light. It's significantly lighter than the KUIU top that I also have in the pack. But it's the same age as the base, as the bottoms. On top of the merino bottoms, I wore KUIU attack pants. The attack pants, I was kind of unsure about them in the beginning, only because they're kind of heavy. They've almost got like a fleece on the inside. But turns out I really like the pants. They're stretchy. They got a DWR coating, so they did shed some water. Plenty of zippers, side, hip vents, and then also if you got real hot with the merino underneath, you can unzip your cargo pockets. Cargo pockets go through, they got kind of like a mesh almost behind them, so they'll let the heat out also if you need extra venting. But yeah, they work nice. I didn't wear gaiters, so the DWR on the pants, they were good. It wasn't super wet, other than when we hiked in. We got rained on the hike in, but I wore my rain gear for that over top of these. The belt, this is a different belt. This is the KUIU belt. The belt I actually wore was a 511 tactical belt, and it was really, really heavy. It had a big solid steel buckle, and the webbing was twice as thick as this, so went with a lighter belt. I just got that not too long ago, but definitely it's going to be a lot nicer to wear. The pack would rub on the back of your belt there, being so thick, the pad, the lumbar pad. So that's going to be a nice upgrade. On top of the merino base, which most of the time, midday, I was only wearing the merino base. Mornings and then into the evening, the Peloton 240 without the hood. It's kind of like a grid fleece pattern. It's not like super thick, but it's a really, really nice mid layer that I wore as an outer layer most of the time. So that worked out really nice. It's got, the thumb holes if you're putting coats on over top of them. That works out good. Gloves. I took these KUIU merino gloves. I've had these for quite a while. The elk hunt is really what did them in. The thumbs are starting to wear. They're just getting really thin, but I've had them for 3-4 years. I hardly ever took them off in Colorado, so I'll probably end up keeping these anyway, just cutting the fingers off, making them fingerless gloves. But the KUIU merino gloves, like them. They're really comfortable. On top of the clothes, Alaskan Guide Creations pack. It's the KISS model that I have. you know, it keeps your binoculars clean and close to you. If you really tighten it up good, it will stay tight, but if you don't tighten it up like really tight, you know, the buckles will, you know, the webbing will come loose and it'll end up sagging. You know, some auto locks like I put on my pack, that would make this pack 100%, you know, as whereas it's about a 95% right now. That's my only complaint. So the KISS model's got just the mesh kind of stretchy pockets on the side. There's some rifle cartridges in here now. Of course, it was an archery hunt, so they weren't in there. But I wear it all the time here in the Midwest. Tree stand hunting, coyote hunting, everything. It's really nice to have, you know, a few things readily accessible on your pack, on your chest. I would just put you know, an elk call over here. I had a lens pen, a lighter, and I think that's it on that side. Top, it's got these kind of elastic pockets on the top. Got my wind check in there, and then on the back of the pack there's a zippered pocket. So with it sitting on your chest, that's where I kept my phone. Slide my phone in. You know, I didn't zip up because the phone sticks up quite a bit taller than that, but that's where I kept my phone. Never had any issues with it falling out. And that's still what I do now. This is just a coyote call, but you know, you could take calls and stick them in these slots. I don't know, that's like webbing almost on the shoulder straps. I stick coyote calls in there. Binoculars. This is all I took. I don't have a spotting scope. You know, so good set of binoculars. These are Vortex Viper HD 10x42s. Used these for quite a few years. Really, really clear, good glass. I like them. So then on the bino pack, that's where I kept my Garmin 62S with the Hunt X chip, the Colorado chip. I've used it in Montana, you know, the Montana chip of course, and then the Colorado chip. It's really nice to be able to get to your land boundaries and all that. The unit we were in, went in right on the border of another unit, so you know, it's nice to be able to see exactly where you're at. But yeah, so the Alaska Guide Creations pack, you know, made in America. They got it dialed in. It's nice. Now the pack I used, Kifaru Mountain Warrior. This is exactly how it was when we hiked in. We hiked in about 5 miles. That's where we set up our camp, and then hunted from there. And this was my first backpack hunt, my second western hunt, coming from the Midwest. So, you know, all do it yourself. It was a good time. Glad we did it. We learned a ton. So we got our next elk hunt planned for September of 18. We're heading to Montana here, just a couple months for spring bear. But anyway, so the Kifaru Mountain Warrior on a 26-inch duplex. This is the Gen 1 duplex. I've had it for a couple of years now. You know, it's a nice, comfortable pack. I'm glad I went with the Kifaru. You know, it's a little bit more expensive than the other packs, but it is built like a tank. So I've used it for training, for hunts. Just works out good. Another, you know, it's made in the United States, so if I can buy made in America gear, I definitely will. So how I ran the Mountain Warrior is guide lid. This is a Grab It 2. The water bottle holder on the belt, and on the other side here is a medium belt pouch. Under the medium belt pouch is where I keep my holster. I do carry a sidearm all the time, everywhere. I stuck it up underneath my medium belt pouch, so kind of, you know, not truly concealed, but you know, it's hard to see it unless you're really looking for it. I see a ton of questions on Rock Slide and everywhere about what holsters to use on Kifaru packs and other packs for sure. This will work on anything. It's just a Phobos paddle holster, so you know, you don't have to mess with any molly webbing or anything like that. It just snaps on. So on and off the pack, super easy. Drop your pack, pull your sidearm, slide it on your pants, good, and you're good to go. You don't have to mess with taking your belt off, taking the holster off of the webbing. Slide it on, and you're done. And it holds just fine. I mean, you can draw. Your holster doesn't come with you, so the Phobos holster is probably like 25, 30 bucks, and works great, works good. So the Mountain Warriors, I think they're listed at about 5,700 cubic inches, and you know, it was plenty big for the 7-day hunt. I had to put my pad, or my sleeping bag, on the outside, and pad obviously, mainly because, you know, I could compress this down. I could put it in a compression sack and it probably would have fit. The biggest issue was food. I took way too much food for 7 days, so I packed in a lot of extra weight that I wouldn't have had to. But, you know, you do it, you learn what you did wrong, and you can fix it the next time. Or, you know, watch some bag dump videos and actually listen to what the guys are saying, because I didn't, and I packed in way too much food, too much clothes. But like I said, you got to do it to learn what you need, what you can get by without. So we'll pop open the Grab It 2 and sleeping pad. This is just the Thermarest Z-Lite. You know, it was cheap and it's super light. I didn't have any issue sleeping on this. But I sleep pretty well anywhere. But you know, super light, super cheap. I think it weighs 9 ounces. The pad weighs 9 ounces. I had basically my whole sleep system dialed in right around 5 pounds. So I was pretty happy with the weight on that. I don't see myself upgrading anything on my sleep system. Worked good. If it was really cold, I'd probably want to take a blow up. I don't know. I've never been out there and hunted when it was real cold. So this is just a pop-up cow elk decoy. We never used it, but we carried it with, and we carried it every day when we went out. You know, most of this stuff was left at the tent on our, when we pack out and hunt, but carried this every day. Pad, of course, stayed in the tent. So the bag, pull it off the bottom. Actually, here, oh, I got the straps off. Carried a Phelps bugle tube. I can't bugle, so you know, I use the diaphragm calls quite a bit, turkey hunting, coyote hunting. I cannot master an elk bugle. Sound like a drunk coyote. So, but we took it, messed around with it one day, you know, around lunchtime, just screwing around. Took it anyway, just because I had it. My bag, I put it in, you know, a waterproof stuff sack. This is an outdoor research. The bag itself is a Mountain Hardware Lamina Z-Flame 22-degree bag. It's the blend bag, so it's got down on top, and then the regular sleeping bag fills on the bottom. So could keep it from you know, getting cold, I guess, when it compresses. The down loses insulation value when it compresses. So it's a mummy tight bag. Zip up the, or tighten up the hood on your head. And I stayed plenty warm. I actually slept in just t-shirt and underwear, so worked good. The bag itself weighs 2.8 pounds or 45.5 ounces. So when you're buying your stuff, I had plenty of time to prepare for this elk hunt. We knew, we went last September of 16. I knew about mid 2015 that we were going to do it, so I started buying gear as soon as we started planning it. So I got this at REI on sale. I don't remember if it was like $180 or something. Good bag. Watch your sales if you have time to plan for them. So in the guide lid, I kept just a bag. I have my maps in here, hunter safety card. I think Colorado requires you to carry that. I had that with me. Of course, my hunting license was in my wallet. You know, just a drink mix. I was gonna bring a fishing pole. The last minute, I decided I'm gonna leave the fishing pole in the truck, concentrate on hunting. Kill something, we'll be bringing it back to the truck. I would then take my fishing pole, but I carried the lures only because I had extra broadheads. I had them stored in here also on the other side. So maps, some mega warmers. You know, if it got cold, I wasn't sure how cold it was going to be camping out up there. You know, you can throw these mega warmers in your bag and they will warm you up. Pre-warm the bag and everything. And then there's just some little zip ties in here also. For water, I used the Sterapan, and then this little filter that came with the Sterapan screws onto your Nalgene. The Nalgene has got this human gear top, so that just keeps your lips from having to touch the dirty water, the contaminated water that's going to be on the lip. Either if you're using this, you know, the filter, it was really slow to filter. Ended up just not even using it and just sucking it up and drinking the little floaties that were in the water because it was a pain in the butt. But so you filter it or just scoop it out, take your Sterapan, swirl it, stops blinking, done. Then you can take your human gear cap, screw that back on, and you take the top off, and that's what you drink out of, the little top on the bottom, and then you're not spilling everything all over you. So Sterapan never got sick, so it obviously worked. I probably am going to try a filter of some sort next time, just mainly because there was a lot of sediment. Could have been with just how we were getting the water out of the lakes, but there's quite a bit of sediment. So, like I said, I'll probably try maybe a Sawyer squeeze or something like that. And then my cousin, buddy of mine that hunted with us, he's got the Sterapan also, so we'll have a Sterapan and a filter. I think that would be ideal. Otherwise, we both had Sterapans, so. And he had a little different filter that actually worked better than that one. It was basically the same lid with like a cone. It worked out a lot easier than that one of mine. Let's see. Wipes, toilet paper. They were also in a big Ziploc bag. The wipes, I left them at the tent. I didn't carry them every day, but toilet paper came with me every day. In the top here, I have kind of an electronics bag. I don't carry a ton of electronics. I don't carry a ton of cameras. Actually, the only camera I took was my cell phone, and then just this video camera that I took. that I'm taping this with. So in here, and the video camera and my DeLorme inReach and my phone would all charge off of this Black Energy Poseidon charger. You know, it's a little bit big. You know, if maybe we could streamline it down and make it a little bit smaller, and it'd make it nicer to have with you all the time. But and then this is the cable it came with. I don't think I took this cable. I have a little shorty cable that I used, but I just threw that in here because you would have to have a cable or it ain't gonna do you no good. The DeLorme inReach SE, it was kind of a last minute buy, you know, kind of peace of mind for the wife, and I'm glad I bought it. It worked good. I didn't keep it on all the time. I would only turn it on when I'd want to send out a text, and it would take 5 to 10 minutes to send a text out. From what I understand from talking to a few other people, it's probably because I was turning it off and on all the time. Next time I would probably leave it on all the time. I wasn't sure how long the batteries were going to last, so that's why I did that. But it would send out and it would receive, and you can get the plans where you can suspend service while you're not using it. I think Garmin now has actually bought DeLorme, so you can get your GPS and your inReach all on one device. However, I like it on two. It's going to be a little bit more weight to carry, but you know, if one fails, you still have the other. So, and this is not the, this is a, I think there's an Explorer model and the SE model. This is the cheaper of the ones. The other one has like GPS on it, but the GPS, I think, from what I understand, is that it's not the greatest. And the new model, where the texting and the GPS are all in one device, I don't think you can put a micro SD card in it, and that's how your hunt chips come, your HuntX maps. So the HuntX maps are worth their weight in gold. I wouldn't go out west without one. And they make one for Illinois, which is where I'm out of. Probably gonna get one just for that, just because, you know, you see your land boundaries, and it'll show you who owns the land. The Garmin, when I bought it, I wasn't sure, you know, how often am I going to use it. You know, is it only going to be when I go out west? Well, I use it a ton more than what I thought I would. Use it when I just go for walks with the wife and kids. You know, you can track your distance, go for hikes, training hikes. You know, you can see how far you've went, elevation changes. A lot of times, you know, we had a coyote hunt contest I took it with just to see how far we walked, how much walking we did. So I used the Garmin a lot more than what I originally thought I would. So the DeLorme, I only take it when we go west. And that's it in the guide lid. The medium belt pouch, I would keep like my snack for the day. You know, when I wasn't wearing my release, that was in there, and then my headlamp. So that was always in my belt pouch there. Let's see. Over on this side, I did bring a set of fixed blade knives. These are the Knives of Alaska, and it's got 2 knives in this kit. I would not bring both of them again. What I would do is either get a new fixed blade or find somebody that can make a Kydex sheath just for the larger of the 2 fixed blades. This is the Alpha Wolf, and you know, for a relatively inexpensive set of knives, it holds up really well. The littler one, you know, for caping and skinning out the head of an animal. I also carry a pocket knife, so this could take the place of this, and I wouldn't have to bring it, and I wouldn't next time. This knife set, both of them together in the leather sheath, it weighs 9.8 ounces. If I took only the larger fixed blade, the knife alone weighs 3 ounces for the bigger one, and then whatever a small Kydex sheath would weigh. So I could cut some weight off of there. But I kept them on the outside, and the compression straps would, you know, they're tied on with one of these little wire, rubber coated wire things. I use them quite a bit, but the compression strap keeps it nice and tight to the pack. So, but I had a Havalon. I just find it hard to go without a fixed blade, so I carried them. So the Mountain Warrior is a panel loader and a top loader. I prefer panel loaders just because they're super easy to load, unload. You know, if you need to get something off the bottom, you can. I zip it so that both the zippers are on the top, but you could, after you pack it up, you know, you could keep both your zippers on one side, and boom, you can get to just the one side. But I'd zip them so they're both on the top. But you could get stuff out of the sides really easy without having to unload your whole bag. Before we get into there, on the back of the panel is one big pocket. I always kept my rain jacket in there. Rain jacket is a Kuyu Chugach, and I wore this quite a bit and realized why everybody suggests don't take a soft shell jacket, just use your rain jacket. You know, this rain jacket's tough, stretchy, and it breathes well, so it's not like your normal rain jackets where you're going to be in a sauna. Worked. I liked it, and it's actually comfortable to wear. Another thing that was always in here, except for the hike in, is a puffy. I kept my puffy right on top of the rain jacket, and it's the Kuyu Kinai non-hooded. So I would jam that in here on the day hikes or the day hunts when we would head out from camp. The pack in, it was inside my clothes stuff sack. So, but it was with me all the time. So that, 2 jackets rode on the outside. Inside the panel is a mesh zipper pocket. And inside that is a personables bag and a Kifaru ultralight pullout. It's a small. And inside there I just have I brought some scent-free deodorant. You know, I wish I could find a smaller thing of it, but that's all it comes in. So the scent-free deodorant. I wear contacts, so I had a contact case. I had 2 extra sets of contacts in here. I had the small bottle of contact solution. I had a camo compact, basically for the mirror. You know, also to put the camo on your face. I never did, but I had it with in case. Another thing that was nice was these Sport Shield individual wipes. It says on there, you know, prevents chafing and blisters. So if you're having problems with your feet, you can put that on, or you know, chafing. Nobody wants to get any chafing, and so that worked out nice. So I had about 6 of those. And I also had fingernail clippers in there. They're not in here right now. And then a toothbrush and toothpaste. Toothbrush was just a regular, you know, cheap toothbrush I got from like my dentist. Cut it in half, only so that it would fit into that pouch. I mean. So the way this was ran, you know, I weighed this with the fingernail clippers in there. I did not weigh that pack. So that's the one that I did not weigh. But, let's see. Here it is. I knew I forgot to weigh one of them. So, the way that sits now, minus the fingernail clippers, is 7.7 ounces. So that's what my personables pouch, or whatever you want to call it, that's what that weighed. Then I have a first aid kit in here also, and the first aid kit is very, very minimal. Some Aleve, you know, in case you're sore. Some Aquamarina tabs, a lighter, a few Band-Aids, some gauze pads. I had an extra set of contacts in here, so I had 3 extra sets plus a pair of my eyes. I just have a phobia of losing contacts, and I also had glasses, but and then Leukotape, which is not in here. Leukotape's in my truck. I use it every day for CrossFit. You know, I wrap it around the fingers when we're doing pull-up bar work. Keeps your fingers from getting blisters. It holds up fantastic. I mean, it will stay on your feet. If you have a blister or a hot spot, it'll stay on your feet, so you won't take it off. Get it wet, comes off easier than trying to peel it off dry. But Leukotape is good stuff. So what took up a ton of room in my pack was food. This is a giant stuff sack, and it was 3/4 of the way full. I took a ton, way too much food. We had food for 7 days, and I was already on day 1 transferring day 1 food into the day 2 pack pouch. I put all my food separately into Ziploc bags. So the food thing, I got to get that dialed in. I had right at 3,000 calories per day. I would back that off to 2,300 to 2,500 and try to just get the lightest food I could get. And I'll go over the food I took and the review of some of the pre-made backpack style dinners on a different video. But so too much food in that big pack, and that took up, I mean, basically the top half of my pack. I had a 3-liter platypus in the back of this pack. There's a water bladder sleeve, so that was in there with the tube running out on the shoulder straps. This is like a possibles pouch, and this is in a large Kifaru ultralight pullout. My possibles pouch, everything in here, it weighs 2.1 pounds. This is another area where I probably took too much. So I had 4 AA's taped together, taped the ends up. You know, you want to tape your ends up because they can short out, get hot, possibly explode. So I taped my batteries together, and then I taped the ends with electrical tape. Then you have extra electrical tape if you need it, because electrical tape works for everything. Band-Aids, boom, everything. I had 2 mega warmers also in here. Spare headlamp that also runs on AA. Everything I have runs on AA's. I had just some baby powder. I wouldn't take that again because the sport shields work way better than baby powder. Had a little bit of 550 cord, some matches, another lighter with some electrical tape on it, duct tape, some extra wind check. I wasn't sure how much we would go through. I also brought an extra spare electronics charger. I wouldn't bring that again. I brought an entire set of Allen wrenches. Don't do that. Just get the 1 or 2 that you need for your bow. Chapstick, tenacious tape, and then my glasses. I'm gonna find something maybe that's a little lighter than this heavy case for my glasses. So I could cut quite a bit of weight off from this Possibles pouch. These Kafari ultralight pullouts are tough. They're really durable. You know, you can't tear them. I'm sure if you had something sharp in there, you know, you punch a hole in them. But for how light these things are, they are crazy strong. So, Possibles pouch there. Oh, and there's a flint and steel in there. Should be anyway. That's it. But kill kit, I basically copied the Rock Slide kill kit. It's in a Kafaru medium ultralight pullout. My kill kit weighs 19.5 ounces or 1.2 pounds. In my kill kit, I have just some surgical gloves, about, I don't know, 2 or 3 sets, tag bomb bags, a Havalon with extra blades. I brought a sharpening steel for the fixed blades and pocket knife, and then another bunch of 550 cord. I think one thing I'm going to do is use, instead of 550 cord, is use a bunch of the 1.8 millimeter guy line, and see if I like that better. But that's the kill kit. You can buy basically the same thing on Rock Slide. I think I put it together for just a little bit cheaper. But there's that. I brought some extra heavier gloves. I never used them, but it was nice knowing that they were in there. We'll hit the tent. One thing I would do differently is put my bag, sleeping bag, inside my pack and run the tent and poles on the outside, just for ease of when you get to where you're going to camp. Your tent's right there. You don't have to unpack your bag to get to it. Tent, Big Agnes Fly Creek UL2. It's a 2-person tent. I would not want to put 2 people in there. You know, you're not going to get any gear in there if you have 2 people in there. The vestibule, not huge. I kept my bow in my vestibule, and limb to limb it was filled up. And my boots, I kept the boots out there. But the tent is really light, and you can pack it down even more than what it is right now. So it will get really small. You know, other than your poles, they're gonna be that big, no matter what. There's poles and stakes in here, and this tent is crazy light. And I like a tent, you know, better than a floorless shelter. I just, you know, the personal preference. I like a floor, so unless I'm on a cot, then it don't matter. But the tent and stakes and poles, everything together is 2.2 pounds or 35.2 ounces. So, you know, added up, I was right at 5 pounds for my whole sleep system. I wouldn't change it unless you needed more room, but you know, I'm 5'9". I have plenty of room at the foot of the tent. I can put my bag across the foot, you know, and then clothes and whatnot next to you. But the tent is nice. Inside the water bladder sleeve here, I carry just a cheap tarp from Farm and Fleet. Just always nice to have a tarp with you in case you have a whole rainy day or something. I would not want to be holed up inside this tent all day long. That's how small it is. So tarp, throw it up, then you can sit there and chill and have your dinner and talk to your buddy or whatnot. And that was always, that was with me all the time. It goes, like I said, I put it in that water bladder sleeve and you won't even know it's there. So it's not in the way, it's not taking up any room. Cook kit. Cook kit's in the large Kifaru ultralight pullout. Cook kit is another area I've already actually upgraded. I knocked a pound off of what I have right now. So the cook kit as it sits right now is 2.6 pounds. I had just a towel. I brought the large fuel canister, and there's still quite a bit left. So I probably should have tested it out and seen how much fuel I actually needed. I would still bring 2 of the small ones, just in case, you know, one leaks, something like that. So I don't know how much it would weigh to have 2 compared to the one, but you know, if that leaked, I'm out. If you bring 2 of the smaller ones, one leaks, you still got the other one. Cousin, he had the same fuel, so you know, we did have fuel there. If one of us lost our fuel. I brought a big plastic cup. I ate, you know, my ramen, tuna and ramens out of here, oatmeal in the mornings. My thoughts were just to keep, you know, your ramen noodles from tasting like coffee and your coffee from tasting like ramen. You know, next I bought a pot set, so a big pot and a small pot. That's a small pot or a lid. That solves this whole thing. Spoon, just a Jetboil, them plastic spoons that you can get. I also have a fork, and it's the same thing. These little Jetboil plastic forks and spoons, they snap out so that they're nice and long. I had some Heather's Choice dinners that, you know, you can get down in there and get them. So that's the utensils I had. The Jetboil, I used the Jetboil Flash. You know, it boiled up water real quick. Inside the Jetboil, I brought a Arctic stainless steel little mug, drinking my hot chocolate and coffee out of. Yeah, a lot of extra weight that I just shouldn't have brought, but that was my mindset at the time. I also brought some aluminum foil for cooking fish. That rode inside of the Jetboil, the actual burner part, you know, it's wide open inside there. I just put that right in, and that goes over the cup. I couldn't get the Jetboil lid on, so it just rode in here like this. The bag kept everything inside the Jetboil. But yeah, I've really streamlined my cooking setup and got that hopefully dialed in. And the new setup, I can get it all into the pots So it's in a package about like that big, you know, lot better, about the size, you know, not much bigger than the jet boiler or the cup. So I'll save, like I said, almost a pound and a ton of room in the pack. But that's another thing, you know, you got to do it to learn what works and what don't work, and you can, you know, watch all these bag dump videos, and I watched a ton of them. Still brought too much stuff, you know. But in the bottom of the pack, I kept my rain pants. These are the KUIU Chugach rain pants. I wore them on the way in. When we hiked in, it was raining on us, so I wore these all the way in, just because the grass, everything was wet. I didn't bring gaiters, so this kept my pants dry, and they breathe really well. Even though I had merino bottoms, the attack pants on, and these over the attacks, you know, you can vent your attacks, and then you can vent your rain pants. You know, it's got full length zippers that go all the way up, so you can vent your hips. Either way, they breathed enough where I didn't have to do that, and it wasn't uncomfortable really wearing these in. So you know, I can't speak highly enough of those Chugach rain gear. They're strong, they're durable, they're stretchy, and you know, compared to the rain gear we've wore around here, it's night and day. So then the very bottom, it was all my extra clothes. It's in a Cetus Summit Ultra Sil stuff sack. Right now, the Kenai is in the bottom, but it came out during day hunts and was in the pack. Guide jacket, I brought it with. I was gonna take it out of the pack at the truck at the trailhead when we were leaving, but you know, all the excitement of heading out on your first backpack hunt, packed it with me, and I never used it, never even saw a need for use. So I would definitely not take a soft shell jacket on a backpack hunt. It will come with me. We're doing a truck camp hunt for Blackbear here in Montana in a few months. It will come with me for that. I liked wearing that last time we went up, so I'll bring it. And if I don't wear it, whatever, it can stay in the truck, so not a big deal. I brought, so for 7 days, I brought one extra pair of socks, one extra pair of underwear. I mean, that was all the extras that I brought. Didn't bring extra pants, but you know, if something happened, I could just wear the rain pants. I brought an extra, it's the heavy KUIU merino top. Would not bring that again. Never wore it. There's just a light, just cotton t-shirt. That's what I slept in. And there's a stocking hat in here also. For the pillow, I used this as my pillow, and it had the Kenai and the guide jacket in it when I used it for the pillow, and it would scrunch up way smaller than this. You could stick it in the hood of the sleeping bag, and it stayed right where you wanted it to. It actually worked way better than I had anticipated. You know, I can get a sore neck from sleeping funny pretty easy. So this, you know, I was a little concerned about it, but this actually worked really nice. That Kenai in there, I would put the guide jacket on the bottom and a Kenai on the top, and it's just like sleeping at home. I sleep great outside. We had a bunch of coyotes outside the tents one night, and my cousin's like, "Hey man, did you hear all the coyotes going crazy last night?" And I didn't hear nothing. I was out. I was that tired. So that pretty much covers everything there. I covered the weight on everything. Oh, the pack as it sat right now was at 35 pounds. There was probably, it was probably in the 55-pound range when we packed in. I didn't put my bow on it. I carried my bow. So that saved a little bit of weight on my back, but yeah. The pack empty is right around 8.5 pounds, you know, just the bag and the frame. Of course, I didn't take into account the weight of the pistol. You know, I had a Glock 19 is what I carried, so there'd be some extra weight on your hip that's not accounted for on that 35-pound weight, and that doesn't include food and water. And I carried that 3-liter bottle, or 3-liter bladder. I carried that full of water on the way in. The Nalgene was empty, and I just had it with a carabiner up on the pack. I had a whatever bottle of Gatorade on here, and the extra. I'm glad I took the Gatorade just for the extra bottle. Before we'd head out, I'd go down to the lake, fill that up with dirty water, and I'd use that to boil my food in at night. You know, cut down on everything you had to filter and sterilize with the Steripin. I think that's about it. Oh, boots. Let's see. Boots. I wore the Salomon Quest 4D GTXs. They're really comfortable. I didn't have any issues with them leaking. This was the second hunt I've done with them, and you know they're still holding up. I don't wear them around here except for, you know, training hikes with the pack on. I'll wear them for that, but you know, just my regular everyday deer hunting, cow hunting, turkey hunting, all that, I just wear a cheap pair of Danner boots that I wear. And you know, that's saving on these. And these weren't ridiculously expensive either. They're less than 200 bucks. So they worked out good. If you can start planning your hunts early, you know, you can watch for sales. The tent, I got the tent used on Rock Slide, so that saved a significant amount of money right there. And just being able to buy your gear, you know, before you have to head out, because you can spend a ton of money on your gear, and I won't say you have to, but there's some things you're gonna want. So if you can watch for sales and classifieds on different forums, I like the Rock Slide forum. But yeah, so that's everything I took for a 7-day archery elk hunt. Stay tuned, like I said, for some more videos. I'm going to go over food that I took. I'll probably go over some of my packs a little, or the extra packs a little more in depth, like what I did to save a ton of weight on my cook kit. And so, but yeah, thanks for watching, and if you have any questions or any comments, you know, this is what I took, this is what worked, and some of the things that didn't work for me. You know, leave some comments, questions in at the bottom of the video there, and you guys take care, and I'll see you out west.